Well, hey guys, welcome to my wood pile. As you can see, oh, Lexi's got a stick. Yeah, good stick. Good stick. That's a good stick. Yeah. So as you can see, I've got a lot of wood. I got a lot of wood here to buck up. I got it started. So I got to buck all this and split it and stack it before the snow flies. And unfortunately, my old sawbuck kind of finally gave up the ghost, so I had to make a new one. So I thought I would do a little bit of a different video. Thought I would show you guys how to make this folding sawbuck. So yeah, thought I'd do that today. Alright, so the supplies you're going to need are 5 pressure treated 2x4x8s, about 2 feet of pressure treated scrap 2x4. Doesn't need to be consecutive. We're gonna saw 6 3-inch chunks out of that. 3.5-inch exterior deck screws, 5/8 by 4-inch carriage bolts, galvanized, 3 of them, and then the accompanying galvanized nuts and washers. And coffee is optional. Alright, first thing you want to do is saw your 8-footers in half. Okay, now you want to take your scrap. Oh my goodness, yes. You want to take your scrap 2x4. What? You want to take your scrap 2x4 and you want to cut 6 3-inch blocks out of this. Here you go. Here's a non-pressure treated one. Okay, 5/8 inch spade bit, and then you need 6 of your 2x4x4s, and then we're going to drill a hole into 6 of them. And you want to go 18 inches down on center. So 18 inches down, and then 1 3/4 inches will be center. So there we go. And then you want to get it as straight up and down as possible. There we go. I always like using a quarter drill for this type of thing. Okay, 4 more, just like these 2. Okay, now we need to bolt these together to make 3 pairs. And make sure you pound it until you seat that carriage bolt in there. There you go. It doesn't need to be super tight right now, just finger tight's good. See there? Okay, now let's lay these out and we'll screw the cross members on. So now that you got these bolted together and then you have them positioned the direction you want as far as which way you want the bolt heads, and that is important, I'll go over that later. You want to measure 22 3/4 inches down from here on this one, this one, this one, just all the same side. And then you want 22 3/4 down on the other side as well. Just remember to do it on the opposite 2x4 that you did the last one, which would still be this side if you flipped it over, obviously. Now this is where you want to position them and then figure out where you want the bolts, the nuts to face. Yes, let me work. The nuts to face, because that is important. I'll explain that later. And then if you want this middle section centered, or you want it more offset, I prefer it offset. I like 16 inches here is what I like. Like I said, 3.5 inch deck screws. These are the star head ones. You always want to pre-drill. Oh, these mosquitoes. Always want to pre-drill, especially once we put those small chunks on. So. Alright, so like I said, I would like 16 inches. Alright, so then this bottom one doesn't need to be perfect. Probably about, 1.5 inches up. And then make sure you drill the same 2x4. Oh, these mosquitoes are terrible. Let's get this done. Alright, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just remember to drill into the opposite 2x4, otherwise it won't open. And remember, we don't have to be perfect. This is not furniture. This is just for cutting wood, so it's going to get chewed up by your saw possibly. Now we're done with this. Now it's time for, the little blocks. So what we're going to do is put one right there, above, right there, and right like that. we just need to put one screw in here, and then make sure again you screw on the same side. This is very important that you pre-drill because they're such tiny pieces, and they're 3-inch screws. There we go. Okay. Okay, now the other side. Poor Lexi. Look at all the mosquitoes. Okay, we're done. I snug these up a little bit, just past finger tight. You don't want them too tight, otherwise it just gets hard to fold. And it actually gets easier to fold as the wood dries. So yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit, and we'll buck up some wood, see how it does. I scoured the internet looking on how to build one, and basically I came to pretty much this same design. Really nice design with some tweaks, I think. So I think you want to use pressurized lumber. That will just, that'll last you forever. I think carriage bolts are the way to go with this. And then I think it's better to have it this center, off center. And then the one thing I really didn't like, two things actually, is both of their support beams that I saw in most of the designs this one was like right here, and then this one was here. So you had both of them right up here, and so nothing down here to kind of keep it from shifting. And then what I also didn't like is this was, like I said, this was one 2x4. So when you got a piece of wood on there, when you've got a log on there, your 2x4 is basically going to be right here. Okay, so that's not a lot of room for your bar and chain. So unless you're really careful and taking your time, you're going to ding this up. And yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to take my time when I'm bucking wood, sawing up firewood. I just want to get it done and be done with it. So yes, I thought it would be a lot better just to use these little 3-inch blocks up here. So now you have all of this room, and it makes it really hard to ding this up with your bar and chain. And then, like I said, the carriage bolts I think were the way to go because you have this rounded head as well. So you don't have like this big hex head sticking out. This one I have for my 16-inch gap, I have the carriage head, rounded heads both facing in, so that gives me the most room just in case, because you don't want to nick that with your chain. That's just bad news. It'll just daw it prematurely. Then a lot of people cut a 30-degree angle on the bottom. I don't think that's necessary. I think it's actually better to have the corners so that it can dig into the ground, because obviously the ground's not stable. It's still going to rock, but the good thing using the screws is everything's replaceable. So if you do nick up any of these, then you can just replace them. So yeah, don't use nails. And don't skimp out on the screws, because that's really what's holding everything up, is the screws. So the bolts are more just a hinge. They're not really holding much. So everything is pretty much on these little 3-inch blocks. All right, let's get the saw, and we're going to buck up some wood. yeah, that one was probably 80 pounds, and it handled that no problem. I think it's a really good design. I love this. So there you go. I hope this helps you guys out. They have to buck up a lot of firewood. So we'll see you on the next video. Bye.